Okay, I'm making Filipino spaghetti, but the healthier kind. There's garlic, onions, spinach, mushrooms, carrots, ground beef, the Filipino hot dog. You don't have to use the whole pack, just maybe half or something. And then you need the UFC ketchup. I don't use anything else but that one. One should be good enough, but then if your sauce is too little, then you can add more. And then the Filipino sauce or the Filipino spaghetti sauce. You also need salt, black pepper, and of course the oil to saute it. Okay, so first you add the onions and garlic. You can add them together or separately, it's up to you, but I like to add them together so they blend in taste. And then you just let it sweat or, cook a little. Then, before it fully cooks, I like to add the mushrooms so the mushrooms can have the taste. But mushrooms are optional. It's up to you if you want to put mushrooms. I just like it because so my boys are healthier. So the mushrooms are going to sweat and it smells good right now. Okay, so I know it's not fully cooked yet, but I like to add the carrots because the carrots take forever also. Or, well, the carrots take forever to cook. This one will just give it a little extra crunch. I like it because it doesn't add any taste. It actually absorbs the taste. See? It doesn't look like spaghetti, but it's spaghetti. So you just continue cooking this for maybe 5 minutes until the carrots are a little softer, because they will cook throughout the process. It's just that it takes longer than the rest of the ingredients. And the mushrooms taste better when it absorbs all of the flavors. Okay, so I add a little salt so the mushrooms have more flavors, and black pepper. And then you can add more later according to your taste, or if it's not salty enough, it's up to you. But it's almost done to the point that you can put your ground beef, because you can see the mushrooms are starting to get soggy. And if you can smell, it smells awesome. It doesn't smell like you're making spaghetti, but I'm telling you, it tastes so good with these two. And of course the spinach. The spinach doesn't really have taste, but it tastes really good. So now I put the hot dogs and the ground beef so they can cook together and they can absorb the flavors too. And you just continue to cook this until the ground beef is brown, and I'll be right back to show you that. See, you can see it's turning brown. It's not completely done yet, but you can add 1 ketchup so the meat and everything else can absorb it while the meat is cooking. Okay, so I added some of the Filipino ketchup, and you just mix it so there's flavor. And when it cooks, you'll notice like later on the flavors or the ketchup, it attaches to the meat and everything because the meat's not completely cooked yet. Okay, so this is how it looks. It looks more like a chili than spaghetti, but we're getting there. I know my way of cooking it is different, but that's how I do it. You can do whatever you like. I'm just showing you the way I make mine. Or you can, you know, reverse the steps. You can put in the meat first or whatever you feel like putting in first. But as long as everything gets cooked, then they usually taste the same. See, you can't even see the mushrooms anymore. So if you have kids, you can't even, they won't even notice that there's mushrooms in there. Okay. Okay, so now you put your spaghetti sauce. I just put one for now, but I'm gonna add the other one later on. Just mix it. Just add it one at a time, or you can add it together. It's up to you. So I added the other one. And then at this point, I'd like to add more black pepper because I like my spaghetti very peppery. But it's up to you how much you want to put in there. But I think for me, the pepper makes it really, really yummy. And then at this point, you can add your spinach. I like to add mine so they get really wilted. And you know, you can't really see them when it's fully cooked. Gets really cooked. My boys don't, or my husband doesn't really notice that there's spinach in there because I make it really, really cooked. Rather than putting it at the end where it's, you know, it looks like this. Okay, so I noticed my sauce is not enough, so I'm gonna add another bottle of ketchup. So I added another bottle, which is also optional depending on how you want it to taste. I like to add another one. Also depending on how much meat you use and how much servings you're gonna make. This is good for like maybe 4 or 5 meals, but I just make extra because it's so hard to cook with a baby. Okay, so an optional ingredient is sugar. I like to add a bit of sugar, not a bit, just maybe a little sugar on mine, just because you know, it still gives it that sweet Filipino taste. Because I noticed the sauce, even though it says sweet, it's still kind of sour. But just a little. It's up to you how much you want to put, how sweet you want it, but a little goes a long way for me. Okay, now time to move on to making our noodles. So you just boil water, you add some salt, then you let it continue boiling, and once it's like bubbling everywhere, that's when you add your noodles. So depending on what spaghetti you use or what brand, that depends on, you know, how long you cook it for, but just read the instructions. This one's usually 10 minutes. Okay, so now I put the noodles in. You just stir them around so they don't stick together. Okay, so you continue cooking this for about 10-20 minutes. Just to make sure the meat's fully cooked and the vegetables are really cooked and stuff like that. Okay, make sure you continuously stir it, or check up on it once in a while, so you know that the sauce is not sticking to the bottom. This one's almost done. This is a finished product. You just, what you call this, if you want cheese, you can add cheese, but I don't really like cheese. I just put it on to show you, and that's all. Isn't it yummy, guys?